Okay, so I've been meaning to talk about something for a while, and it has a lot to do with people having an issue with heavy body parts, particularly like heavy upper body, heavy lower body. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and what I find is that a lot of people, I say a lot of people because I see this, they have difficulty with their lower body being too heavy, too thick, and they go into the gym. They're working out a lot. They're really doing a great job keeping focus. But when it comes down to it, they have heavy body parts, and they're worried that when they exercise that body part, they're making it thicker and stronger and looks heavier. And I understand that. I can appreciate that because when I was younger, I was one of those thick, heavy people. People said they had baby fat, but I didn't think it was just baby fat. It's the way I did heavy exercises. And not necessarily lifting weights because I was young. I was just a heavy boy. But where other people might do sprints and running and play basketball, I would do things like play around in the backyard or maybe go hiking with my friends. Things that were heavy load on the bottom part of your body. So when I see people in the gym doing heavy squats, or for instance, like I have friends that do CrossFit. I love CrossFit, by the way. I've never done it. I don't think that's for me, but I love watching it, and I do think they are incredibly in shape. The problem is, some of the people that do CrossFit find that because they're lifting such heavy weight, that they're having very thick body parts. And I think, personally, men like that. Some women don't. I say some women don't because I know some women that look amazing and they have thick body parts and they just look amazing. It just fits them well. They do a great job of sculpting and molding it to them. The problem is you also see people have the other issue where they don't want to have the thick legs. They want to have thinner legs. They're tired of it not fitting into their pants or maybe the way it looks in skirts. And the reason why I bring this up is because I've always given advice to people how to change that. Unfortunately, people don't really follow through, in my experience. So I used to spend a long time with people breaking down their macros, letting them know exactly what they had to do as far as meal preparation, exercising routines, water intake, sleeping, all types of things that are going to be or make a well-rounded person and get you to the body type that you want. It's easier said than done. I find that people usually want to take a pill, go to sleep, and wake up looking the way they want to look. I tell them, listen, let's take a look at what you're doing right now. What are you doing right now as far as your daily routine? And I talk about that because immediately they want to talk about what they eat or how they work out. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? You're leaving so many hours in between out. What do your meals look like throughout the day? How is your transportation? Do you do a lot of walking? Do you take a lot of stairs? Do you take the escalator but still walk up? Do you carry a lot of weight? These are all things that you have to think about as far in your daily routine because that's also exercising. People go to the gym, they want to power lift. They want to lift heavy squats. They tell me, Gary, but I do lunges, I do curtsy squats, I do the Stairmaster. I do all these things that are supposed to give me the thinner thighs. But what I'm explaining to them is maybe it's your rep and weight and your food intake, right? So maybe you're doing the correct exercise. Maybe you're doing the lunges that are going to elongate the muscles. But take a look at how many reps you're doing. Take a look at what the weight looks like. Take a look at the duration of the workout. How much time are you giving between each set? Are you supersetting? Are you loading on weight, maxing it out, and then taking a break and loading on weight? You might be doing the opposite of what you're trying to look like. Some people say I'm scared to lift any more weight because every time I put a pound on anything, my legs blow up huge. And I understand what they're saying, but you're not a robot. You're not Superman. You're not automatically going to build muscle just because you put on some weight. It's what you're doing. So you want to consider that. Maybe drop the weight considerably and add more reps to your set. Maybe if you're doing deadlifts and say you're doing increasing weight. So say you're doing a deadlift and then you maybe do like a rep of 5 reps and then you say, oh, I'm going to go up in weight and do another 5. I'm going to go up in weight. Maybe you should do the opposite. Maybe you should start at a certain weight, say whatever it is. Maybe you do 200 pounds. Do your 200 pounds and then drop down to 180, drop down to 150, drop down to whatever, go to 100 and increase the sets. I would say go light and increase. So if you're used to doing 200-pound deadlift, try doing a 100-pound deadlift, but instead of doing it for 3 reps, try doing 15. Try taking minimal breaks in between. Maybe you'll do 130, 120, 110, 100, 90, 80. Really drop it down. Really burn the muscle. Deplete the muscle. If you're doing lunges, maybe instead of just standing in one place and doing a lunge and a lunge and a lunge, maybe walk. You know, maybe step forward and step back. Maybe step forward, step back, step out to the side, step out to the side. Just do compound movements with light weight, with high reps that are going to start to burn and deplete the muscle, and you're going to sculpt it, and then take a look at what you're eating. Because if you're trying to drop in size, now mind you, this is all coming from personal experience. I always tell people, do your homework. If you want it bad enough, do your homework like I did. I took a look at what my caloric intake needed to be for a certain day, for a certain type of workout. Keep that in mind, a certain type of workout. Different workouts every day, right? You don't do the same thing every day. Maybe you need to have a little more carbs in your diet on a certain day because you're adding more cardio. Maybe you might have some more sweet potato in your diet. Maybe there's one day where you're not going to do any cardio at all and you're just going to do some lifting. Not to say that you don't need a certain amount of carbohydrates for that, but you might not need it for something, say you're doing like a HIIT program, right? Where you're going to need more fuel, you're going to be burning more fuel. Those are things you have to consider. You don't eat the same thing every day. You're definitely not going to eat the same thing on an off day than you would on a workout day. That's another thing you have to consider. How many times a day are you eating? What are the gaps in between your meal plans? I personally think you should not go an hour and a half without putting something in your body. When I say something, I mean like an apple. I eat every 3 hours. I eat a meal. And for me personally, I double my meals. So where an average serving size, say, is like 4 ounces of fish, I'll do 8 ounces. I eat a lot of broccoli. You have to watch out. You have to be careful with what you're eating and what your snacks look like and your water intake. So I would say if you're going to work out, drop the weight, increase the reps, start using movement. Get out of that one spot. Start moving around. Sometimes I don't feel like going to the gym. I go outside. I literally go outside. There's people coming home from work, and I'm walking probably the length of a football field, maybe a little more than a football field, from this gate to the garbage. And all I'm doing is I have no weights, and I'm doing a full extension lunge. I mean, full extension. It really depends what I want to do. Sometimes if I want to work on my upper butt, I'll do a lean forward lunge. My knee never passes my toe. But what I'm saying is when I do a lunge, I might lean forward. As opposed to when I want to work on my thighs solely, I'll do a straight up and down lunge instead of the leaning forward lunge, because it works different parts of your body. And I'll do that. I'll do a lunge, right? And then I'll stand up. And then I'll take that right leg, I'll step out to the side a little bit, shoulder width apart, and I'll do a full complete squat. I mean, my butt almost touching the ground, and my chin is always the same. I'll come all the way up, squeeze my butt in. Then I'll do a curtsy. So then I'll take my right leg and swing it around to my left, making sure my left knee never goes over my toe. I'll do a curtsy squat, come up, then I'll do my left. The reason why I'm explaining that is I'm doing a compound movement, right? I'm doing a lunge, I'm doing a squat, I'm doing a curtsy. I am working all around my leg. And then I'll do the left, and I'm working all around my leg. And guess what? I'll do that for like the length of a football field. Then I'll turn around, catch my breath, do it all the way back. And I don't count, I don't keep track. I do it till it starts hurting, then I keep doing it. Now that's a very important thing. Do it till it hurts, then you start counting if you want to count. Because if you're doing it before and you're counting, you know, maybe your body can handle 10 sets of 10 reps or something, maybe. Maybe you're just that strong. So if you only go to 10 and you stop, you're never really breaking down the muscle. You're not breaking it down. Because you're doing what the muscle can do naturally. So if you do maybe 14, now you did the 10 that you can normally do, because you do 10 every day, you do 10 in your sleep. But now you do the extra 14, and you might start feeling like, you might start feeling yourself breathe heavier. Maybe you'll feel it burning. Now you're working the muscle. Now you're burning the muscle. Now is when it counts. Now you add the extra set. You add the extra set. You add the extra set. You do it till you can't do it anymore. You do it till you have to take breaks in between. Maybe you can't do the first 10, the full 10. Maybe you get to 5 and you start contemplating your life. Like, oh my God, you know what? Don't stop. Brace yourself. Compose yourself. Maybe try to do 2 more, 6, 7. Maybe you can only do 1 at a time. Take 2 breaths. Do 8. Take 2 breaths. Do 9. Take 2 breaths. Do 10. Whatever you need to do to get you through that movement, keep your form. Stay focused. Don't look around. Don't look at anybody. Focus on what you're doing. Close your eyes if you need to. Compose yourself. Open it back up and continue. If you work out like this, you drop the weight, you increase the sets, you do compound movements. You maybe sometimes you're doing a shoulder exercise or you're doing a leg exercise, and you might do squats. Maybe you're getting creative and you put a little bench at the squat rack, and you might do squats where you tap your butt and come up, and tap your butt and come up. Sometimes I feel like getting creative, and instead of just doing a regular squat, I'll put the bench there, and I'll go down and I'll tap the bench 10 times, right? And then what I'll do is, opposite way, sorry. I'll sit on the bench, take off all my weight, take my weight off my legs, come all the way back up. And I'll do that 10 times. Sit, split second, take my weight off my lower legs, stand up. And then at number 10, I don't take a break. I immediately do 10 butt taps. 1, 2, all the way up, tap, all the way up, tap, all the way up. Sometimes I'll take the little 5-pound dumbbells, the little 5-pound ones. Sometimes they're metal, sometimes they're 2 pounds, 3 pounds. I'll put it on the floor. They're like this wide. What I'll do is I'll put one foot here with my heel on top of it and my toes on the ground. And then I'll put the other foot here. Mind you, it's only like maybe 8 inches wide. And I'll put my feet right there. Then I'll take the squat rack. And now my feet are super close together. And I'll squat all the way down. Because a lot of times people's outside of their hips. I forgot what they call it. I think there's a word for that. Maybe like the abductor or something. When people squat, if you can really tell whether their legs are strong or not, because when they go down, their legs start to wobble and go out because they don't have the strength there. So you really focus. I gotta find out that name because I hate saying the wrong names of things. But you'll realize what I'm talking about when you try to do it. If you're squatting, your knees go out at the bottom, you're missing strength where you need it. You might want to start doing some leg exercises where you put your leg out to the side. Maybe sometimes you put something on your ankle with the cable and you just start going out to the side. Or you get in those machines that you put your legs out this way, and then you have another machine here where you push your legs in, right? I love those machines. Those machines are great. Or you can just lay on your side and pick your legs up. All great movements. A lot of Pilates movements, great movements. But you really want to focus on lightweight, high reps. Start moving around. You want to, if you're trying to get less size on certain body parts, so important. Drop the weight, increase the reps, superset. When I say superset, I mean that when I do an exercise, I immediately change to another exercise. For instance, if I'm doing shoulders, sometimes I say women because this is really focused towards women, because women, they're the smart ones. I say smart. I'm not trying to insult anyone. They understand taking care of your body is a beautiful thing. Muscles are a beautiful thing. I know people have preferences. People don't want muscles. They think they look too manly, whatever. I don't think like that. I think a body is a beautiful body, whether it's male or female. And if you sculpt it, I think it looks gorgeous. I don't care if I see muscles, I don't see muscles. I think it's beautiful. Some women don't want to see any muscles. I think they look beautiful too. I'm talking about people who are trying to get fit and see muscles. They're scared to work their upper body. I've had people tell me, I don't want to do that. I don't want to see the muscles out there. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. But when I do a compound movement, I don't think I look big. I'm rather thin. I weigh 175 pounds. But when I do a shoulder exercise, I do very light weight. I just increased the weight within the last year. I'm doing 13 pounds. Oh my God. I used to do 10 pounds or 7 pounds or something with the cable machine. And what I'll do is I'll hold on to the cable here and I'll just go out to the side. Now I'm doing 13 pounds. That's like amazing for me. And I'll do 10 of that. And then I'll turn around. I'll do 10 of the other side, right? Then I'll turn around and I'll do the cable's from behind me now. So the cable's behind me. And I'll just go straight up. Go straight up. Then I'll switch. I'll do the other side straight up. Sometimes if I'm feeling crazy, I'll go from behind, and so the cable's behind me, and I'm going straight out this way, right? Because I'm trying to work, I don't know if you can see it here, I'm trying to work all sides. So if you look at the muscles here, right, you can see the 3 heads. You can see the 3 heads. Mind you, I'm not a professional. I don't have these names off the top of my head, but there are names for the back, the middle, and the front. And you can work all those exercises. Now, when I say superset, I'm depleting it. And then what I'll do is I'll bend over with a flat back, and I'll bring the cable out to the side. And then what I'll do is instead of everything else I'm doing is a straight movement with straight elbows. But when I bend over, I'll put a little bend in my arm. And instead of grabbing the strap, I usually just grab the ball. If you notice when the cable comes out, they usually have a little ball, and it has a chain. Then you hook it up to whatever it is that you're pulling. I'll usually just grab onto the ball, and I'll have it bent, and I'll come out here. But I'm all the way bent over. So I'm working the back muscle now. See that? It might be called like a rear deltoid or something. And I'm working that. The reason why I'm trying to explain to you is I'm doing all that in one set before I put it down. And then to add it to the end, I'll usually pull something back here. So I have the cable in front of me and I'll pull back. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exercises with 13 pounds, and it used to be 10 pounds. I see people in the gym, they're doing 30 pounds. They're throwing up 40 pounds. You know, big dudes, big guys. I don't want to be like that. I'm trying to get cut. I'm trying to be defined. So I would say drop it down to no weight. Just grab the machine with no weight. Just do it. You need to feel a burning sensation. When you feel that burning sensation and you're lifting little to no weight, now you know you're doing it right. Most people want to do heavy weight and you see them doing this in the gym. Right? You see all of this. You see all of this type of movement. You see all of this type of movement, this type of movement. When I work out, I don't move. It's just this. It's just this. It's just this. I don't move anything. Because I believe if you're moving, you're compensating. You're using your lower back. You're using your legs. You're using other muscles that you're not trying to work out just to lift that because it's too heavy. You're trying to show off. So, moral of the story is drop the weight, increase the reps, really drop your calories if you're trying to make the size of your muscle smaller. When I say drop your calories, you have to find out on your macros what it is that you need to sustain every day. Then you want to eat less than that, a little bit, maybe 50, 100 calories less. You have to be careful because if you're going to be doing a HIIT program or some cardio, even if you're supersetting speeds up your heart rates, you need more energy. Maybe you want to take a look at what works for you. There's nothing wrong with trying. There's nothing wrong with doing something for 2 weeks, taking a look how your body reacts. Maybe switch it up. Try to add a little more. Try to get a little less. Keep notes. Find out what worked best for you, what didn't. How did you feel after your workouts? Mind you, you're supposed to be sleeping a certain amount of hours, right? Find out what works for you. You're supposed to be drinking a certain amount of water. Spread out your meals, because when you spread out your meals, you're convincing your body to burn calories because it knows you're going to eat again in an hour and a half to 3 hours. It knows you're going to eat again. Oh, I don't have to store this because we're going to eat right around the corner. If you're only eating like lunch or dinner or whatever it is that you're doing, that you're just starving yourself, your body's going to hold on to it because it's going into starvation mode. It doesn't know when the next time it's going to get food. So you're like, I can't believe I can't lose weight, or I can't believe I'm gaining weight, or I can't believe my thighs are so big, they won't get smaller. But I eat, I have a good healthy meal. I don't eat garbage. But take a look at when you're eating. How often you're eating. What time of the day are you eating? Are you a night eater? Are you eating right before bed? Do you get up in the morning and not put food in your mouth until 6 hours? Are you starving yourself? Because you also have to realize you may be working out and doing a great job, but if you're not putting food in your body is eating the muscle you just worked on yesterday to survive. So you're taking 2 steps, right? You're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Also, people don't give themselves the proper amount of fuel when they go to sleep after a workout. Your body, people get confused about how muscle works. You're not building muscle. You don't build muscle. What you do is you tear your muscle fibers, right? And then your body fills in the little gaps where you tore it with more muscle. Think about people who are kickboxers or Muay Thai. They constantly kick something. You see them kicking those things. They're amazing. How do they not break their leg? How are they still walking? When they do that, they're putting tiny little stretch fractures in their shin bone. And then they're eating properly, they're sleeping properly, they're hydrating properly. So all those little cracks, the body's filling it in with new bone. So it gets stronger and denser. It's the same thing with your muscle. When you tear your muscle fibers, if you eat properly, you fuel properly, when you're sleeping, your body's filling in all those fibers. So the next day when you get up, you might feel swollen from the day before. You might feel like that's when your muscles start growing. Now, if you're not eating properly, the body never has an opportunity to fill those in. So it's just going to go back to the way it was. And you're never going to see any growth. You're never going to see anything. Now, for someone who's trying to get smaller, the reason why I say drop the weight, increase the reps, because you don't want to get bigger. You want to define. So you don't want to do things that are going to tear all those muscles, because then overnight, if you're eating properly, they're going to get bigger, right? So you're going to have lighter weight, higher reps. You're going to work on elongating the muscle, right? Not thickening the muscle. Elongating it, not thickening. You're not going to do heavy, short reps. You're not going to do the most you can do for 3. You're going to do half of what you can do for 20, right? So it's not about tearing it down. It's about sculpting. So think about that. It's about sculpting. And that's when you're going to see a change. That's when you're going to see your arms get smaller but toned. That's when you're going to see your thighs get smaller but toned. Because of what you're eating, right? Your calories, very important. Because of how you're exercising, because of how you're sleeping, and especially the duration, the time between your meals. I'd probably say that's one of the most important things, how you're eating. I tell people all the time, what you look like is 90% in the kitchen, 10% in the weight room. I mean, I could go to the gym once a week and I could still look the way I want to look if I eat what I'm supposed to be eating. Mind you, if I'm cheating, if I'm eating something, if I'm eating sushi with a lot of soy sauce, if I'm eating my Takis chips that I love for and I go crazy over, if I'm getting cheesecake, no, I can't work out once a week. I got to work out every day, maybe twice a day, just to stay with what I'm trying to look like. But if you eat properly, right? You eat properly, you're going to get to your goal. Now, mind you, it's a goal. How fast do you want to get to your goal? Do you want to take a year and something you can do in 3 months? It's up to you. Some people say, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, they have no willpower. That's just weak-minded. You're just weak-minded and you have to be honest with yourself. Are you a weak-minded person? You have to be honest with yourself. What are you going to do to change that? Plenty of people want things. They want money. They want a career. They want a better car. They want a better family. But what work are you willing to put into that to get it? Right? What work are you willing to do? No one can do it for you. I could talk to you all day long. I can't do it for you. You really have to put in the homework. When I'm telling you it's possible. You are no different than anybody else in the world. Why can't you do it and everybody else can? It's because of you. It's not because your body can't do it. It's not because of genetics. It's not because of your family tree. It's because of you. It's because of you. You can do it. Obviously, body has limitations, right? Not everybody can look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if you work out really hard, you can get damn close to what your body's meant to look like, right? If you're only meant to go to 5'10", maybe if you had your whole life to do all over again and you played more basketball and dunking and you did more hanging from the pole in the backyard with weights tied to your ankles, fine. Maybe you can gain an inch or two. But what I'm trying to say is your body is going to reach whatever its potential that it was meant to be, right? No one can just say, I'm going to be 7 feet tomorrow. But you have to find out what that is for yourself. The only way you're going to find out is to do it. Sometimes you can be honest with yourself and stand in front of the mirror and look. You can tend to look at some of your family members, see if you have the same body type with them. You really have to diagnose what you've been eating and consuming. You know, maybe you're someone that likes to drink a lot. Maybe you're someone that barely sleeps. Maybe you're someone that likes to snack a lot. You eat perfectly, but then you snack on whatever it is that you snack on a night. That's reversing everything you just did. Same thing with your exercising. Maybe you go to the gym 3 hours a day, but you're doing the wrong exercises for what you want. Right? If you want to look like someone who does Pilates and you're doing heavy lifting and CrossFit, who can you really blame but yourself? And the reason I say that is because people love a certain type of thing. People love to run. They're going to run for the rest of their life. They love to cycle. They love CrossFit. I know diehard CrossFit fans. And they're like, what am I going to do? Because I love CrossFit so much. What am I going to do? Then I'm going to say, you know what? Maybe, I love those names. They would have a name for every exercise. You're going to have to make a choice. Maybe you don't do your personal best on weight. Maybe you drop the weight and not worry about competing and beating everyone else, but you compete with yourself. When I go to the gym, I compete with myself. When I work out in my living room, when I work out outside, when I work out at the beach, I'm competing with me. I don't wear my glasses when I go to the gym, and I don't wear my contacts. I can't see a soul. I can't see past here. And I do that for a reason, for many reasons. First of all, I found I was wasting too much time at the gym saying hi to people that I knew. I'm a very social person. I'm a social butterfly. But when I'm going to the gym, I'm going for a purpose, right? So I don't want to see anybody because I want to focus on me. I want to compete with myself. I don't want to see how much weight that person's doing because I know for a fact I see people looking at my weights and either they think I'm not lifting enough and they're like laughing at me, or maybe they think I'm lifting a lot and they're like, well, he looks smaller than me. I'm going to increase my weight because I want to beat him. And I can tell because, you know, when we're sharing the machine, I can tell that's not the weight he was doing before I showed up. You know, now he's doing it more. What I'm trying to say is compete with yourself. Even in CrossFit, where you can compete with yourself. You don't have to compete with everyone else. Who cares what the board says? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to get a certain body type. You're trying to get a certain lifestyle, right? Maybe you want to fit in a certain type of clothing. Maybe you want to look a certain way at the beach. Maybe you just want to look a certain way in the mirror. It's okay to be vain. It's okay to want to look a certain way. But only if you're trying to compete with yourself. If you're always trying to chase someone else, at the end of the day, you're going to look, right? Maybe you're going to look at that person. Maybe not. Because what did I say before? Your body has limitations. You're not going to look like you're not always going to be able to look like the person you want to look like because your body's just never going to be able to do that. It has a limit, right? It has a limit. You can reach your potential, but you have to realize that limit might not be the same as someone else's. People are born with certain IQs. You're not going to get any more. You're not going to get higher. You do the best you can with what you have. So I guess find out what works for you. Start keeping notes as far as your eating habits and your exercises to find what works and doesn't work. tweak it, right? Fine tune it. I like this. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna put something else in. I'm gonna try that. I try things all the time. I switch all the time. I switch what I'm eating, what my snacks are, my sleep schedule, when I go to bed, how long I go to bed for, how much water I'm drinking, what time of the day I work out, how long is my workout, how many days a week do I work out, when do I take my off days, do I deserve to take off days more? Do I deserve more off days, less off days? It's like I had a goal for myself in the last year to gain 10 pounds of muscle. I was very proud of myself when I did it in 10 months. And then my dumb ass took 3 weeks off from the gym because, it's hard being sore every day for 10 months. It's hard. It's hard, and I understand. It's like you go to work and I lift that. My bag weighs 33 pounds and my God, it's just hard being sore every day. Every day. I'm like, can I get a break? I'm sore every day. Because if you do it correctly and you keep switching up your routines, you never plateau, right? You always want to keep going up. You always want to keep going up. And that's sore all the time. You're always sore. It's hard. I understand it's hard. But, it depends on what you want for yourself and what you're willing to put up with and what you're capable of putting up with as far as personal gains, pains, family, time, schedule. I carry a lunchbox. My lunchbox is right there. So when people say, they don't have time to eat because they have a busy schedule, that doesn't leave my side. Sometimes I say I need to go to the bathroom. I take that with me. I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm eating. But sometimes people feel like they can't eat when in whatever situation they're in because it's not a proper time. It's okay to go to the bathroom, right? Last I heard, you don't have to ask for permission to go to the bathroom in the real world. You go. So if you want to sneak something in your pocket and go to the bathroom, or put something in your purse and go to the bathroom and eat and come back, do what you got to do. Stop making excuses for yourself. Do what you got to do. There's no reason why you can't eat. Maybe you work in a hospital. You probably have pockets, right? Stick something in there. You can eat. You have to walk from A to B. You can eat while walking from A to B. It's called a snack. Okay? And you're also allowed to eat. This is America. You're allowed to take lunch breaks. Anybody tells you got to work a whole day without eating, then you know what? You should sue them. You should call somebody. Call HR or something. They'll have your back. You're allowed to eat. So I find it hard to believe that people can't do it. If you really want to do it, you'll find time. If you have a baby, newborn baby, you can't get to the gym, maybe you start doing squats while holding your infant. I can't really be judgmental about that because I know sometimes people just can't sleep because of their child, depending on how old the child is. But, how bad do you want it? Maybe you go a certain while without working out because you just can't physically do it anymore. Your child is too young. Maybe your child gets older, now you can do it. Your child is sleeping better. So then you have to start looking at yourself. How bad do you want it? It's very easy to look for an excuse. Trust me. I use excuses all the time. It's very easy to say, I'm just going to lay down here and I'll go tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. You know what happens when I say that? Tomorrow happened 3 weeks ago and I still haven't gone. It's very easy to make mistakes. But at the end of the day, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, right? No one else is there, just you. Just you in the mirror. You can't lie to yourself. You can't complain because you had the time to do it and you didn't. So just keep that in mind. You can do it. You can get the body type that you want, right? The body type that your body's available to get. Mind you, wherever you are, you probably have like another 90% of capability and room to improve, okay? If you're not walking around these streets at 3% body fat, yoked, okay, or cut, trust me, there's a lot of room for improvement for you. It just depends where you want to go to. I'm not saying everybody wants to achieve 3%. Maybe a woman, you want to have 22% body fat. It's great. Maybe you want to have 18. Maybe you like yourself at 30. Whatever it is. Maybe you want to drop 15 pounds. Maybe you don't want to drop any weight, but you just want to drop inches. That's possible. I don't want to lose any weight. I wanted to gain weight, but I wanted to keep my same size because I love the way my suits fit. Mind you, I gained 10 pounds of muscle, and my suits fit beautifully. My waist is the same. My overall chest size, everything's the same. I'm just tighter and I put more muscle on my frame. I didn't get bigger. I removed some of the body fat and I replaced it with muscle. I like it. I like the way my frame is. I'm happy with the way I look. I just wanted to move some things around in the same shape. So some people are not like that. Some people want to get smaller, tighter, stronger. You can do that and still weigh the same. You can be 150 pounds at 40% body fat. You can be 150 pounds at 20% body fat. But you have to be careful, right? Because sometimes if you're more muscular, muscles show up in different places. I tend to think that if you're heavy and you put muscle, I think you're going to get smaller. You're not going to get bigger. You're going to get smaller, right? So trial and error. trial and error. If you try all those things, I don't think it's going to be a lot of error. Even though it's called trial and error. That's about it. I should make more of these videos. Maybe somebody will find value in it, maybe not. But I'm always willing to help. I learned by asking questions. Everything that I'm talking about now, I learned from going on YouTube, going on Google, tapping someone in the shoulder in the gym. I'm talking about since I was 16 years old when I first went to the gym. Excuse me, sir. How do I get my body to look like that right here? What are you doing differently that I'm not doing? It's as simple as that. You know what else I found out? People that work on their body love when people ask about how they did it, right? You're respecting them. You're saying, I see all the hard work you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. That looks amazing. Can you tell me how I can do that too? Not many people are going to say no. Goes for anything. Goes for relationships, goes for work, goes for clothing. If you praise somebody and you show them that, you know, you're really valuing what they did, they're gonna provide you with some insight. That's about it. It's easy McGreasy. Right? And stop thinking you're gonna take a pill and wake up tomorrow and look the way you want to look. Get that out of your mind.